Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news for Wednesday, January 6th, 2021. I'm Chrislyn, Lashington. In the headlines, U.S. Congress in turmoil as Trump supporters breach Capitol building. Opposition leader Tobias Clement calls the Grenlec shares purchase handling illegal as he vows legal action against the government. School resumes next week using a phased approach. NIS widens the assistance pool for people ordered to quarantine or self-isolate. The Meteorological Office monitors trough system expected to impact the islands Wednesday into Thursday. Marine biologists suggest in-depth studies to find a solution to address the impact of the Sateas Breakwater project. Trellona Charles is here to tease us with sports and around the globe.
Tonight in sports, West Indies are engaged in sponsorship discussions with Sandals Resorts, and CONCACAF Youth Championships cancelled. And in around the globe, Antigua gets updates on CXC exams. Guyana investigates beating of robbery suspect in custody. And keeping with Guyana, a confirmed case of the new COVID-19 strain may result in closure of the airport.
Details right after this message.
This is GBN, the nation's news leader. This segment is brought to you by Quartz Grenada Limited.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Quartz, bringing value home.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Protesters storm Capitol building. We start off tonight with news of politics, not local politics, instead news out of the United States of America. Grenadians home and abroad look on in awe as thousands of supporters of U.S. President Donald Trump breached the Capitol, where lawmakers were meeting to confirm President-elect Joe Biden's win. White House Press Secretary said the National Guard has been called in at President Trump's request. We get more to this development in this CNN report.
It's hard to believe, Anderson, what's going on here in the United States Capitol right now. I've been around here for a long time. I've never seen anything like this. I never thought I would see an armed mob like this break windows and get into the United States Capitol. And do what they're doing. And you can see what's going on. These individuals, they should be arrested immediately. I assume some of them will be. There is videotape. We see their faces. We see what they're doing. They are illegally breaking into the United States Capitol, endangering members of the House of Representatives, members of the U.S. Senate as well. You see what's happening on the floor of the Senate and the House. Law enforcement are raising their weapons to deal with these mob individuals. I don't want to call them protesters. They're not protesters. They're people who are engaged in an insurrection that will fail. They will be arrested. We are now told that members of the U.S. military's National Guard from Maryland and Virginia are on the way. Major numbers are coming in to deal with this enormous threat to the U.S. democracy. Only 14 days left 14 days until the inauguration, when Joe Biden will become the president of the United States. I can only imagine the security that is going to be around Washington, D.C. over these next 14 days as we await the inauguration of Joe Biden as president. 14 days until Donald Trump leaves office. Pamela, you're getting some new information.
That's right. We're told that multiple officers have been injured in the midst of the chaos that we are seeing, with at least one officer, Wolf, transported to the hospital. Multiple sources tell me and my colleague Noah Gray. Just to give you a sense of what this means with this officer being transported to the hospital, it seems to be they are only transporting higher priority cases. So although we don't know what the injury is, that gives you a clue. We know that EMS is on the scene there. They are triaging. A woman was shot in the chest on Capitol grounds earlier today. We don't know the circumstances of that. But what we do know, Wolf, is that law enforcement is simply overwhelmed. You report that the National Guard is now on its way. But earlier today, one law enforcement officer sent a distress call from inside the Capitol building because it was getting so out of hand. I do know from talking to sources that police from surrounding areas are coming, from Virginia State Police, Montgomery County, Maryland Police, Prince George's County, and now multiple officers have been injured, with at least one transported to the hospital. And we're now seeing police in riot gear there, Wolf, trying to contain the crowds, trying to bring a sense of calmness to the chaos.
Yeah, the entire D.C. National Guard has now been activated, Pamela, and they're going to be joined by Maryland and Virginia military personnel, military troops. They're coming into Washington, D.C. right now.
The deal is sealed on the Grenlex shares purchase agreement, but the debate on the manner in which the negotiations and transactions were conducted are picking up steam. The latest challenge comes from opposition leader Tobias Clement, who is threatening to take legal action against government over the handling of the purchase of Grenlex shares. More in this report.
Opposition leader Tobias Clement announced on Wednesday that he will be filing a lawsuit against the government of Grenada for what he called the illegal manner in which the purchase of Grenlex shares was handled. According to Clement, before government can use any monies from the country's budget allocations for an unplanned matter, it must first be presented to the Finance Committee and later in Parliament, a procedure that was not followed.
In terms of allocation, transfer, paying of different government services, it must come through the Finance Committee. And here we have millions of dollars that are being transferred from government to some private entity, and we had no discussions on it. I mean, discuss were in cabinet, but under Parliament, in terms of financial discussion, we have the Finance Committee. And whatever the Finance Committee discuss, it must be tabled in Parliament. And when it is tabled in Parliament, then there could be debate on the issue. But we had none of that taking place.
Speaking at a Zoom press conference on Wednesday, Clement claims that the present administration has not been following the proper process put in place for far too long, and as such, it is time they answer for their actions. He stated that he is presently in discussion with a legal counsel on the final content of the lawsuit.
We are still in consultation with counsel, and I do believe that probably later on tonight, first thing in the morning, the whole document, it will be completed, and crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's so that we can have something substantial and something solid to go on. When it is completed, I will fill in the details, but at this point in time yet, it is not yet completed, but it is in transit now in terms of getting all the wording right and the construct right, and when this is done, then it will be filed.
The opposition leader said that transparency needs to be obtained in the House of Government. GBN sought a comment from government to the opposition leader's legal intent. However, up to press time, there was no response. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
School reopens on Monday, January 11th, but in a phased manner. The Ministry of Health has also reverted to the 6 feet distancing in schools as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to force changes to the way we operate.
Instead of the usual start to the school term on Monday, January 4th, 2021, students have been given one more week at home. However, from Monday the 11th, students will return to the classroom, but in a phased manner. Chief Education Officer Angela Finley, appearing on GBN's To The Point program Wednesday, explained what would happen going forward.
And having gone through all of this, we are in a position, acting on the advice, the guidance of the Ministry of Health, to have students return to schools as of Monday the 11th in a phased manner. So the exit grade of each pre-primary, primary and secondary schools are to be accommodated in a physical setting on site as of Monday the 11th of January. There's also a provision for schools with a very small population, where they will be able to go back once they share the plans for their accommodation with their district education officers, and it's brought forward and accepted at the Ministry of Education. They will be able to open up to accommodate all students on site.
The CEO further explained the procedure for the following week.
The week of the 18th of January, we are expecting that all schools would again have on site their exit classes, in addition to as many of the other grades that will be where their facility would allow for their accommodation, having due regard for the 6 feet distancing protocol, which the Ministry of Health has advised that we need to revert to. So once the school has enough space and facilities to allow students to operate safely with 6 feet distancing protocol, schools will be able to take back the rest of their students. However, we know that there are some schools, due to a number of limitations at this time, where accommodation of every student every day will just not be possible once we are using that 6 feet distancing. Hence, in those cases, principals are advised, managers are advised to work with their district officers to work out a plan where every child is able to access on-site learning for at least 1 day a week.
Mrs. Finley highlighted the protocols by which schools should be guided, similar to that of the ones used during the period June to September 2020.
Gone through basically 3 possible phases. When we had the first bout of students returning, the first batch of students returning to the physical plant, that was in June of last year, and that was for the Form 5 students to prepare them for sitting off the CSEC examinations. During that time, we had a protocol which catered for 6 feet distancing, restriction to visitors, basically no visitors coming on the compound, severe restrictions there. Persons coming onto the compound was restricted to utility workers, persons dropping off supplies, and so forth. So we are now going back to that protocol, the protocol which existed then, and also enhanced, let's say, for the reopening of school in September. So that version which we use in Malcolm's term 2020, this version is what is applicable at this time.
Schools' principals and managers are expected to submit their school's plan to the Ministry of Education for consideration by Friday for implementation Monday, 18th January. The ministry also commits to provide additional cleaners and monitors to support the movement of students on their schools' compounds. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
The COVID hotline 438-4787 was established by the Ministry of Health to increase its capacity in dealing with the upsurge in calls. However, numerous complaints say the COVID hotline is never accessible. Minister for Health Nicholas Steele addressed the issue during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing, promising to reinforce their capacity.
It is not that people aren't answering calls. Most definitely not. The ministry's senior personnel as well have been constantly answering calls. It is the level and the quantity of calls that we constantly have to keep upping the amount, and to now have some sort of screening process, further engagement of one of the call centers or so, in order to deal with a pre-screening and then send all of the calls that are actually reporting possible cases or so to the ministry's personnel, and deal with the general calls of just asking for information separately, so that we can, as Ministry of Health, get to speak to the persons who are calling for an emergency.
Former Chief Medical Officer and former COVID response coordinator, Dr. George Mitchell, says he appreciates the fact that the public is pointing these issues out so that they can be addressed.
Indeed, the issue surrounding the hotlines have been, one of our sort of like biggest Achilles tendon in the last 2 or 3 not weeks, but I'd say last 2 weeks or so, and it was the subject of our COVID-19 committee on Sunday. And yes, we meet on Sunday at when it's necessary, and we met on Sunday, and it was an agenda item. And up until yesterday, Minister, the new system that you described has been tried out. A full report on its functionality will be given later on today. But, just to reassure the public that those are concerns that, yes, occupy our attention very much, and we're dealing with it. It is something that is developing, and as they develop, we are moving to restructure and to put systems in place. So
if health officials order you into self-isolation or quarantine due to COVID-19, and as such your financial income is affected, the National Insurance Scheme is now offering such people sickness benefits. Rena Pear tells us more in this report.
Employees and self-employed persons who contribute to the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, can now claim for sickness benefit if they have been instructed by health officials to quarantine or self-isolate. This announcement was made on Tuesday by Public Relations Officer at NIS, Lisa Douglas, during an interview with the Government Information Service.
The National Insurance laws makes allowances for persons who are in contact or may deem to be a carrier of an infectious disease where they have to be quarantined, that in that situation they can claim. So in the case of COVID, if you are required to quarantine or you are required to self-isolate, in which case you are not required to see the doctor, you can still claim for a sickness benefit.
A sickness benefit form has been specially created for this purpose and can be downloaded from the NIS website or collected from any NIS office. If applying for the benefit, employers can certify the sick leave period. Douglas explained what needs to be done by applicants.
The employee would complete their section and they would get the form to the employer. Right. The employer completes their section and they would scan and email the form to us, or it can be submitted via our website. Okay. Yes, so they have that option. So in those two cases, a medical report from the doctor is not necessary. Now, if it's a case where the person has been diagnosed with COVID, COVID-19, in that case,
then
they
you need
a medical certificate, in which case they would use the old sickness benefit claim form. The one where the doctor is required to complete their section, state your nature of illness, your sick leave period, because in that case, you have been diagnosed with COVID-19.
For GBN News, I am Rina Pe reporting.
The Meteorological Service continues to monitor a trough system that is moving westward towards the Lesser Antilles. Potential impacts from the system are intense or prolonged rainfall that is expected to accompany it. It will include street flooding or flash flooding in low-lying areas and a chance of small-scale landslides in vulnerable areas. Andre Charles, forecaster at the Met Office at the Maurice Bishop International Airport, gave an overview of what conditions to expect tonight into tomorrow.
So we continue to monitor the weather, and the trough that we've expected to pass through has weakened significantly based on the current model runs that we've analyzed. However, we do expect that during the early afternoon we can see the increasing cloudiness still taking place with the showers and a possibility of thunderstorm, but it's not as significant as we first expected, a significant improvement. However, during the evening time, we've seen that the conditions should improve, and later on tonight into early morning is when we expect another deterioration in the weather. We expect then time that we can see an increase in cloudiness, and the possibility of thunderstorm increases overnight. As a result, we would definitely let the public to be cautious with respect to flooding in areas that are so prone to flooding overnight especially. But during the early afternoon, we can expect the increase in cloudiness and the possibility of the showers and a low chance of a thunderstorm, but some improvement in the evening time, while overnight we expect conditions to deteriorate with some more convective activities and the possibility of some thunderstorm and flooding.
The general public is reminded to remain alert, heed the advisories, and be prepared to act as warranted. Motorists are urged to be extra cautious when driving along wet roads. Pedestrians are reminded to walk with umbrellas and exercise due care and attention. This is News at 7. Coming up, did government's attempt to improve and protect the coastline through the Breakwater project cause more harm than good? We hear from a marine biologist when we return. Stay with us.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Paying is faster and easier with Flow FastPay. Use your MasterCard or Visa and pay from anywhere. Log on to discoverflow.co/fastpay and press Consumer. Select your country and enter your account number. Enter the amount to be paid and an email address. Enter your credit card information. You'll receive a payment confirmation with the transaction details, along with a receipt to your email address. It's fast, safe, and easy. Flow, keeping you connected.
Food is fundamental, and at Caribbean Agro Industries Limited, we source premium quality wheat and other ingredients, so you get the best results in the kitchen, bakeries and farms. For over 35 years, we've supplied Grenada with the finest flour and animal feed. The tastiest cakes, pastries, or breads are baked with the region's finest flour. Buy the products you've trusted for all these years. Baker's Pride, Supreme, and Sunshine Flour. Get the best from your farm animals with our master mixed feed brands. Support local. Buy products that are made in Grenada. Call us on 440-2954 or visit us at Mount Gay St. George or check our Facebook page. Caribbean Agro Industries Limited, a subsidiary of ADM. Unlocking nature, enriching life.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Some these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. Now I'm invincible. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road, 'cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view. Arise, look, no wings, fly.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
Do you want to win loads of prizes this Christmas with BIP? Join our Spin to Win promotion to win exciting prizes daily. Here's how. Go to the Discover section of the BIP app. Search for the Spin to Win channel and click follow. Once you have followed the channel, click the Spin Now button, choose your device type, select your country, and wait for the wheel to start spinning. Be quick. When your wheel lands on the correct prize of the day, screenshot the prize and send your screenshot to the Spin to Win chat to enter the promotion. Click the Daily Updates button to get updates on the prize you are required to spin for each day, and also to know if you are the lucky winner of the day.
Merry Christmas, spin and win with BIP.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here even when the future seems unclear, because one thing is certain: you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The Satea's Breakwater project is once again being called into question. Many are of the mindset that the $4.8 million project, constructed with the intention of improving and protecting the coastline, has caused more harm than good. Trellona Charles has the details.
The Breakwater project's main objective was to put a stop to coastal degradation, with plans for future development in the form of a marina and yachting center at the north of the island to serve as a gateway to the Grenadines. However, the project has resulted in major coastal erosion in the lower Mount Craven area. To date, entire beaches have been removed, and at the beginning of 2021, we saw waves threaten to displace an entire community. Marine biologist with a background in coastal zone management, Paul Phillip, spoke to GBN about the project. He said in-depth studies should have been done before the commencement of the project, and the same needs to be done now to find a solution.
You would have to do what you failed to do in the beginning to determine what you have to do now, how to correct it. The studies that you didn't do in the beginning, you would have to do it now to determine how can we move that, change that, fix that to prevent the erosion.
Mr. Phillips said a computer simulation is one route that could have been taken to determine the possible effects of the project.
You organize an area looking like Satea's with the same type of topography, you know, and you run the currents, and you put up a breakwater and decide how it goes around that breakwater, you know, and then from doing that you would make a determination what angle, what depth, how high to put it, where to put it, so that it doesn't affect the beach. And I mean, we don't have the facilities here in Grenada to do it, but there are countries where it could be done.
He said although the project was successful in its original objective of reducing wave energy in low-town Satea's, it resulted in the creation of another problem.
They diverted the current, so where the current used to pass along the beach, go down and up along the beach, you know, just up and down normally. They diverted it now, so it goes around the barrier and comes back at the end of the barrier down there. So you all the energy now that you prevented from coming at the top, it is going on the bottom side now, and that is what is causing the erosion.
Residents in the affected areas have said they feel as though they are not being made a priority. They are concerned that once the water begins to move inland, they will not only lose their homes, but also access roads, a community center, and a playing field. They are hoping that something will be done sooner rather than later. Trellona Charles, GBN News.
About 3 weeks ago, GBN brought to light a major health hazard compiled by a mentally disturbed man in the south of the island, which the Minister for Health and Parliamentary Representative Nicholas Steele promised to address. To date, the mountain of garbage increased substantially, the rodent population increased dramatically, and the stench has become unbearable. Chrislyn has the follow-up on this story.
A mentally challenged man, one might describe as a hoarder, continued to stockpile loads of old clothes, garbage, empty bottles and other used items that have created an unsightly and unhealthy environment for himself and people living close by in the Limes St. George's. On Wednesday, GBN again visited the area of the mentally challenged man known as Sexy, where residents say the stench emanating from this collection and rats, flies and cockroaches are too much for them to deal with. Jim Ferguson, who lives and operates his workshop just in front of the garbage pile, says this has been going on for years. People have intervened to clean, however the collection is repeated.
It's affected me for years. It's years, not today. It affects me plenty because it makes plenty rats. Rats fool my house. I put some rat poison last night. He just eat out all the rat poison one time. Cockroach. Do you talk about that? Yeah, and it's, when the rain falls on it, it stinks bad.
Another concerned individual who does not want her name to be mentioned but has done all she can to assist the sick man says the situation is costing her a pretty penny.
It's been going on for a long while because most times in the mental home and I just try to take it out before he comes out. Because the first time he had it loaded up, I put it out. I got some guys, I paid them, they took it out. When he come back, he put more. This wrong was more. So I paid them $200 to take it out, but it's too much to go down by the garbage, as you see. It's too much for me to handle to go up to pay skip to go up to the garbage, you know. So one skip is $250, and this is not one skip, as you see for yourself.
She told GBN she reached out to the Grenada Solid Waste Authority for assistance, but was given an ultimatum.
So they tell me that they cannot go down to his home and take it up. I have to put it down by the road. I say, well, I cannot manage that alone. I say, you saying it like that, but if you come to see it, it's too much for me. Because I have to get a lot of bag. The first time I put it in so much bag, and they came and they did not take it. I buy garbage bag, but we couldn't put it by the road because, you know, you have people in the area that blocking up the, you know, because you have vehicle coming through. So we put it and we put it in front of the door. They never come. And they did come, and they say, no, we have to put it by in the gap. I mean, come on, how dare you? And you have people on the truck just to raise the bag and bring it onto the truck. They didn't do it.
She says now that Sexy is hospitalized, it will be more of a challenge for her to care for him, as there is no water in the house. When contacted on Wednesday, Minister for Health Nicholas Steele told GBN that within 1 week from today, the situation will be addressed.
Persons in the line to do not one. The first two are for relocation. That's the two gentlemen that go close to the school, the preschool, Lions Preschool. That land for them has been allocated, and it will start now. The relocation is building up two places for them to move them away from the school. And the other gentleman, yes, he will also be dealt with at the same time.
Chrislyn, GBN News.
2020 has been quite an eventful year, and 2021 is seemingly following in its footsteps as it relates to labor issues. Yes, it's labor and not COVID which is taking the fore in this story, as there remain several issues yet to be addressed or resolved among the unions and government. The latest concern is a claim of voter suppression from one member of the Public Workers Union. Jared Joseph has the details in this development.
Union elections are once again the topic of discussion for members of the Public Workers Union. However, this time, one member is advocating for the resolution of a key issue hindering a fair election carded for March. The ability to vote is a crucial aspect of a fair and unbiased election. Nevertheless, one union member, Brian Grimes, is claiming that may not be so in the March 2021 election. Grimes believes that voter suppression is happening within the Public Workers Union.
A number of workers, public officers, are paying union dues on a monthly basis, monthly deductions, and they are not registered in the system within Public Workers Union. And because of that, they are losing their rights based on the ability to choose who their leader is or who they want for in leadership. Generally, they lose the ability to get discounts at different places, for example, with the use of the card.
He is encouraging paying members of the union who are unsure of their registration to find out and secure their benefits. The union member reiterates his claims that this could be an element of voter suppression, whether it is neglect or deliberate.
But the fact is, it is existent. And my experience being a past member of the union executive in terms of going and speak to workers, to me, about 40% of the public service is not properly registered, and it reflected in the voter turnout at the last elections in 2019, March 2019, where less than one third of the members participated in the election, despite it being very, very highly marketed and promoted.
Grimes explains the simple process for members to register.
It's very simple. You fill out a very, very simple form with, the content of it. You just put your name, years of service, and so forth. Very simple form, short. You leave the information there, and you get a passport size picture also, and the rest is history. At the end of it, you're supposed to come up with a card such as this. It looks a little bit outdated, but this is what exists at this present time. So like I said before, if you are a due paying member, you do not have a card, or you are unsure if you're registered, you should do it now. Because many workers, I've spoken to workers who have felt that panging disappointment in going to vote and turned back and said your name is not on the list.
GBN did seek a response from the sitting president, Rachel Roberts. However, up to news time, she was unavailable for comment. I am Jared Joseph for GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trellona Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. Residents of the Lower Sautez area awoke on New Year's Day to witness destruction. Since the construction of the Sautez Breakwater project, the area has been facing major coastal erosion, and the turbulent waves were now impacting the homes in the area. Our online audience expressed their thoughts on the situation. This person commented, "Shameful, yet government can find money to buy back shares from WRB, all because of egos." Darrell said, "You've been waiting far too long for something proper to be done. Obviously, the breakwater is in the wrong shape and wrong place to have helped stop the erosion. More scientific approach needed. It needs adjusting some way." He then added that is not enough compensation for the government doing nothing for the people for years now. Moving the residents will not stop the destruction. Gladlina commented, "Build a brick wall. Grenada is too small to be losing any land to the sea. Use some of those big stones to put near the areas being eroded. We have a lot of that in Grenada." And Karen commented, if nothing is done in the not-too-distant future, the entire community, including the community center and the playing field, will be eroded by the sea. Communities or road access will be cut off. More people will have to be evacuated. Priority should be given to this project. Just as how they find capital monies to buy Grenlec, so too money should be sorted out to have this problem rectified. A stitch in time saves 9. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. As always, if you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
There you have it. We give you a voice, and now we also give you the opportunity to be a journalist. Moving on to GBN I Saw.
A good eye catches all. GBN I Saw is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. Rechanging the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
We have a coin collection on our hands. We have yet another I Saw submission. Tonight we feature UK pennies from the years 1906 and 1912. The words engraved on the head of the coin, when translated from Latin, read, George V, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, and Emperor of India. The reverse side of the coin shows Britannia seated facing right, wearing a helmet, holding a trident, hand resting on a shield, with the words 1 penny in the fields and date below. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
What a find. Still ahead, Grenada welcomes new Chinese ambassador. This is news at 7.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Do you want to win loads of prizes this Christmas with BIP? Join our Spin to Win promotion to win exciting prizes daily. Here's how. Go to the Discover section of the BIP app. Search for the Spin to Win channel and click follow. Once you have followed the channel, click the Spin Now button, choose your device type, select your country, and wait for the wheel to start spinning. Be quick. When your wheel lands on the correct prize of the day, screenshot the prize and send your screenshot to the Spin to Win chat to enter the promotion. Click the Daily Updates button to get updates on the prize you are required to spin for each day, and also to know if you are the lucky winner of the day.
A Merry Christmas, spin and win with BIP.
An opportunity to start, grow, build, and empower young people with a business idea between the ages of 18 to 35. Youth Biz, an initiative of the Ministry of Youth Development created to give you that break you've always been looking for. An agriculture venture, craft, arts, printing, ICT, confectionery, just to name a few. We will guide you, train you, and support you financially to turn that dream into reality. You can receive from $1,000 to $25,000 $5,000 to start that dream business today. Call us on telephone number 440-6917 or 435-0119. Email us on youthbizgd@gmail.com. YouthBiz, transforming lives through entrepreneurship.
It's new, innovative and classy, and a cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Your hard work, talent, and creativity, plus Flow, equals more ways to chase your dreams. Flow is connecting all of Grenada, from Point Salines to Hillsborough, with the most reliable connection on the island. So now everyone can work, study, and keep moving forward together. Visit discoverflow.co for more information.
China's new ambassador to Grenada, Wei Hongchan, has attributed the new chapter of friendship between both countries to the personal commitment and efforts of their leaders, which has helped to deepen political mutual trust. Presenting his credentials to Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade on Tuesday, the new ambassador also hailed the partnership between both countries in the fight against COVID-19. He assured his willingness to further his diplomatic relations with Grenada, between Grenada and the People's Republic of China.
Your Excellency, I am greatly honored to be appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China to Grenada, and at the same time humbled by the important responsibilities entrusted to me. During my tenure on this glorious post, I will exert my best efforts to further advance the relations between our two countries and the friendship between our two peoples. I am confident that in carrying out this important mission, I shall receive great support and assistance from Your Excellency and your government.
Governor General spoke about some of the support received from the People's Republic of China that has generated successful results.
We assure you that the concessionary loans, grants, technical support, human resource development opportunities, humanitarian and debt relief are greatly appreciated by our government and people. Your Excellency, Grenada will continue to work with the People's Republic of China in the multilateral fora on issues of mutual concern as we work towards deepening the relationship between our two governments and peoples. Your Excellency, Grenada is happy to welcome you, and we look forward to the further strengthening of the relationship between our two countries.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell has joined the ranks of those expressing sympathy on the passing of Butch Stewart, who is regarded as a giant in the media and tourism industries. News of Stewart's passing was confirmed by his son Adam Stewart. The late Butch Stewart is probably best known as the founder of the Sandals chain of hotels, but he also founded the Jamaica Observer newspaper and owned several other businesses. Dr. Mitchell said of his passing, Butch Stewart, like many of us, had humble beginnings, but he had an incredible drive for success, which was demonstrated across the business empire that he developed. Although he was Jamaican, I think the entire region, particularly the countries in which his companies operated, felt a sense of kingship. The Caribbean has indeed lost a visionary and innovator. On behalf of the government and people of Grenada, I extend the heartfelt condolences to his wife, children, and the team of employees who brought his daily life to vision. Stay with us. The weather and sports are up next.
Hey, man. Well, man, that's you making that trip. Why doing all this more? Things tight since COVID, you know. And Christmas coming, the toys to build, and my house and my car to repair, and the wife go and chill with and what you want me to do? I'm expected to do all that with more. Well, what you want me to do? Why don't go down my communal? You don't have to pay them until January. They have 20,000 in giveaway giving away, and the interest rate low. And listen to me, I try them orders and them people look good. Who they want them on? Well, watch, like you have more than your ears. Choose your loan at communal, giving you the money for what you want to do. It's a loan for you. You know what? I'll get them a little try. Listen. Where you going on this mud? You don't need it. Leave the mud, man. When you go down there, the rate's low. Low.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load with tropical shipping. So we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with tropical. Can't wait. No package too big, too small. I cannot wait to ship with tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. A telephone number 440-8787 or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
We're keeping an eye on the weather. We head over to our sister station, TV6, for the regional forecast with Sigoni Mohammed.
Take a look at what happened across the islands over the last couple of hours, because we definitely got some wet weather in our forecast. And you would have seen videos like this coming up on social media from San Fernando and South Central Trinidad. We got a lot of localized flooding activity, and all of this happened because we had a bit of moisture and instability in the atmosphere. Now, into overnight, we're starting to see some settling down in our forecast. However, just over midnight, we can expect another surge of rain shower activity and the possibility of isolated thunderstorms, which is what brought in that localized flooding and the gusty winds earlier today, just after midday, in fact. And we could see some gusty winds taking us through the rest of this evening into the pre-dawn hours of tomorrow. Now, it's not just Trinidad and Tobago being impacted by this bit of low-level troughing and that southeasterly wind flow that's advecting moisture into our direction, but it's parts of Guyana, of the Guianas, that is, Venezuela, and even into Grenada this evening, getting a lot of wet weather, even as far as Barbados. Now, tonight for us, we know it's going to be relatively cloudy out there, quite cool as well, with temperatures dropping to 22 and 23 degrees Celsius across Trinidad and Tobago, respectively. Now, to tomorrow's outlook, what we're noticing is that between sunrise and sunset, it's going to be the same kind of plates dished out for you where the weather is concerned. The only difference here is that we'll get just a little bit more sunshine in our forecast, and that's going to help to dry things out just a little bit. But as the day goes on, more wet weather is expected. So we still have a significant amount of moisture and instability across the windwards and the southeastern quadrants of the Eastern Caribbean island chain. Again, not just us experiencing this weather, but for the majority of the eastern islands, we'll be getting that wet weather taking us well into Friday, and we're still seeing some sunshine in our forecast. In the mix here as well, we have Saharan dust pulsing very much into the central and western parts of the Caribbean. Now, into our forecast in particular, what we'll notice is that it's still quite cloudy out there, with a mixture of sunshine and cloudiness throughout the daytime period. Early morning showery activity will settle down somewhat by midday, and we'll get that sunshine warming things up, giving us our high temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius in Trinidad. Tobago coming in at a comfortable yet cool 29 degrees Celsius. And as the day progresses, well, you can expect those showers and isolated thunderstorms to pick up yet again across western and northern parts of Trinidad, more so than Tobago. And where that is happening, you want to look out for the gusty winds and the possibility of localized street or flash flooding occurring in those heavy downpours, which could last just over 15 minutes or so. So exercise caution when you're commuting and conducting your daily activities. Look out for any rising water levels when you're doing so. And please make sure and stay nice and warm if you're in an office or you're at home. Just bundle up as the days progress, because it's still quite cool out there. Take a look at what happened across the islands over the last couple of hours, because we definitely got some wet weather in our forecast. And you would have seen videos like this coming up on social media from San Fernando and South Central Trinidad. We got a lot of localized flooding activity, and all of this happened because we had a bit of moisture and instability in the atmosphere. Now, into overnight, we're starting to see some settling down in our forecast. However, just over midnight, we can expect another surge of rain shower activity and the possibility of isolated thunderstorms, which is what brought in that localized flooding and the gusty winds earlier today, just after midday, in fact. And we could see some gusty winds taking us through the rest of this evening into the pre-dawn hours of tomorrow. Now, it's not just Trinidad and Tobago being impacted by this bit of low-level troughing and that southeasterly wind flow that's advecting moisture into our direction, but it's parts of Guyana, of the Guianas, that is, Venezuela, and even into Grenada this evening, getting a lot of wet weather, even as far as Barbados. Now, tonight for us, we know it's going to be relatively cloudy out there, quite cool as well, with temperatures dropping to 22 and 23 degrees Celsius across Trinidad and and Tobago respectively. Now to tomorrow's outlook, what we're noticing is that between sunrise and sunset, it's going to be the same kind of plates dished out for you where the weather is concerned. The only difference here is that we'll get just a little bit more sunshine in our forecast, and that's going to help to dry things out just a little bit. But as the day goes on, more wet weather is expected. So we still have a significant amount of moisture and instability across the windwards and the southeastern quadrant of the eastern Caribbean island chain. Again, not just us experiencing this weather, but for the majority of the eastern islands, we'll be getting that wet weather taking us well into Friday, and we're still seeing some sunshine in our forecast. In the mix here as well, we have Saharan dust pulsing very much into the central and western parts of the Caribbean. Now into our forecast in particular, what we'll notice is that it's still quite cloudy out there with a mixture of sunshine and cloudiness throughout the daytime period. Early morning showery activity will settle down somewhat by midday, and we'll get that sunshine warming things up, giving us our high temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius in Trinidad. Tobago coming in at a comfortable yet cool 29 degrees Celsius. And as the day progresses, well, you can expect those showers and isolated thunderstorms to pick up yet again across western and northern parts of Trinidad, more so than Tobago. And where that is happening, you want to look out for the gusty winds and the possibility of localized street or flash flooding occurring in those heavy downpours, which could last just over 15 minutes or so. So exercise caution when you're commuting and conducting your daily activities. Look out for any rising water levels when you're doing so. And please make sure and stay nice and warm if you're in an office or you're at home. Just bundle up as the days progress because it's still quite cool out there.
Good evening, sporting fans. I'm Trellona Charles. Cricket West Indies are engaged in what they describe as positive discussions with Sandals Resorts for the latter to resume as its primary sponsor. Sandals signed on as CWI's primary sponsor in 2018 in a partnership that covered all West Indies teams from under 15 through to senior men's and women's outfits. The Sandals logo is featured on all West Indies playing and training kits as part of the deal that expired at the end of last year. Cricket West Indies CEO Johnny Grave confirmed to Sportsmax TV today that positive discussions are ongoing. He indicated that there will likely be a temporary halt on those discussions following news Monday night of the passing of Gordon Butch Stewart, the founder of the Sandals Resort. The discussions would resume at an appropriate time. CONCACAF has announced the cancellation of both its Under-17 and Under-20 Youth Championships in light of FIFA's recent announcement to shutter the FIFA Under-17 and Under-20 Men's World Cups, scheduled to take place in Peru and Indonesia later this year. The Under-20 tournament was originally scheduled to be held in Honduras between 20th of June and the 5th of July 2020. However, following the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic, the tournament was initially pushed forward to later this year. The Under-17 competition suffered a similar fate. With the spread of the virus continuing to affect safety concerns and traveling ability, FIFA announced the decision to cancel both tournaments last week. With the CONCACAF tournaments serving as qualifiers for the World Cups, the Confederation decided to follow suit. As part of the decision, FIFA announced the next editions will be held in 2023 at the venues that were to host the 2021 editions of the tournaments. Now for sporting highlights from James Saunders of our TV sister station, TV6.
Tributes are pouring in for former Sandals owner Gordon Butch Stewart, who passed away recently. All the latest comes from CWI President Ricky Skerritt, who calls Stewart a true West Indian legend. Sandals is the main sponsor of all West Indies cricket teams, and Stewart was an avid cricket supporter. While speaking to Jamaica's nationwide 90.1 FM, Skerritt says Cricket West Indies is saddened by the news.
He was a lifelong West Indies cricket fan. He was a fierce champion of the Caribbean in general and a major commercial partner of Cricket West Indies, which was also a true West Indian legend in his own right. He established unique and very successful Caribbean brands and created many opportunities for young men and women across this region to earn a living and to grow. We're so grateful that we've known a man like Butch Stewart. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Well, CWI Vice President Kishore Shaloo says Stewart will be missed.
From the community, the cricket community, we obviously are going to celebrate his memories. We're going to celebrate his accomplishments. His contributions have been incredible, and we are going to be forever grateful for what he has done.
Tonight's probe around the globe takes us to Antigua. There's a fresh update in Antigua on the query of grades from last year's CSEC and CAPE examinations. Director of Education Claire Brown provides a preview of this year's sittings following ongoing discussions with the Caribbean Examinations Council. Ursel Charles Jr. has a recap of his discussion this morning with Mr. Brown.
The Ministry of Education has sounded its recommendations for the administration of CXC exams this academic year. Director of Education Claire Brown said there initially were 3 options forwarded by the Regional Council, but he says Antigua opted for the second of these.
CXC has been in consultation. They have consulted with Antigua and Barbuda, and our position is, having looked at it, having discussed with our principals, our position is that we will go for Proposal B, which is June, July, and the regular format, paper 1, paper 2, SBAs.
Brown says the rationale for having the exams at this time is clear.
We needed to give a little time for schools, at least the month delay for schools to complete full curriculum coverage, for schools to complete syllabuses and so on, because you can appreciate that the people that are in fifth form now were in fourth form when we had the national lockdown, and we would have lost time. And even though we might have resumed school on the 7th of September, many of our secondary schools, the public ones at least, many of them are in a blended shift system.
As it relates to queried grades for last year's CSET and CAPE exams, Brown says most issues have been rectified.
The subjects that were ungraded for Antigua and Barbuda, the query process was followed and the results were returned. So like for English B and so on, where they would have been ungraded, then those results were issued, and so the students would have gotten, and others who had queries for other reasons, they too would have followed the query process, and CXC would have issued those results.
He adds there will be matriculations concerns which will have to be resolved, considering grades this year will likely be released in late September. For ABS News, I'm Ursel Charles Jr.
The Guyanese Police Office of Professional Responsibility has been called in to investigate the beating of a robbery suspect while in custody. But the police force claims it's self-defense. The video footage might be offensive and disturbing to some parties. Viewer discretion is advised. Yanis Abrams reports.
Video captured by an onlooker where two policemen could be seen cuffing and kicking a robbery suspect has prompted an investigation by the Police Office of Professional Responsibility. The incident was recorded at the Starbuck Market area. Even though the Office of Professional Responsibility has launched an investigation, the police force has already laid down their story, alleging that the ranks were forced to defend themselves. A preliminary investigation by police found that on January 3rd, 2020, a mobile police patrol responded to a report of robbery with aggravation in the Starbuck Market area. The suspect seen in this video was arrested, and police claim that he became aggressive and attacked arresting officers who were forced to defend themselves. This led to a physical confrontation between the police and the suspect.
That's it for tonight's Probe Around the Globe. Stay with us for a reminder of tonight's top stories.
A recap of this evening's headlines. Opposition leader Tobias Clement calls the Grenlec shares purchase handling illegal as he vows legal action against government. School resumes next week using a phased approach. NIS widens the assistance pool for people ordered to quarantine or self-isolate. The Meteorological Service monitors trough system expected to impact the islands today into tomorrow. Marine biologists suggest in-depth studies to find a solution to address the impact of Saterre's breakwater project. In sports, West Indies engaged in sponsorship discussions with Sandals Resorts. CONCACAF Youth Championships cancelled. And in Around the Globe, Antigua gets update on CXC exams. Guyana investigates beating of robbery suspect in custody, and a confirmed case of the new COVID-19 strain may result in closure of the airport. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or check out our Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm Chrislyn Lashington. That's the news. We'll see you again. Good night.